Coast Nation, Sunburn number 52, and welcome back to Football Trends with me, QB. Now, on today's video, guys, we are going to talk because finally, coach has opened his mouth in terms of, the players that he's been interested in signing, even though this is video Lauma signing, it's not true, but, we are not there. But anyways, before we get there, also we're going to talk about a player who was just released by the Orlando Pirates, meaning as a free agent. But before we get there, please do make sure that you like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that next time when I post a new video, you will get notified and be able to watch, my future videos. Previous, but I'm speaking about my future videos. So currently, guys, there's a lot that is happening, but obviously we're not going to touch on everything. I've heard that there's something that happened with the secret meeting somehow, but we are not there. So currently, as I'm speaking with you, it looks like there's a player who is out. Pirates, they just released him. He's a right back who can also play as a right winger. So we call this kind of player a fullback. He is a fullback. I don't know why they are releasing him. The Pirates. I honestly don't know the reasons why. So this season alone, he played 5 games, and then that's it. Gukef corner, he participated, he scored 1 goal. Now I don't know why keeper, to be honest, because he's a player who's been there, so maybe they are planning otherwise. I do not know, but like I've said, defend a little bit too is someone. So in terms of me thinking about him, I honestly don't know whether I can say yes, Siamdinga, or no, we don't need him. I think Coach Nasreddine Nabi is the one who's going to approve whether we need this player or we do not need this player. But other than that, I feel like he's a good player, to be honest. I feel like he's a good player. I'm not saying we should sign him, but speaking of players, I just heard something about Edson Castillo. It looks like a future is uncertain. And Kumbule, we've already given him 1 contract extension. So after this extension, my Pela, I don't think he will be a player who's going to remain there, but it looks like Coach Nasreddine Nabi as someone who still feels like, no, I'm enough for Castillo. So he feels, you understand? So if time goes on and this into the Europe, in Netherlands, if ever things are going to combine, then I would be happy to see Edson Castillo, getting some game time, because let's be honest, Edson Castillo is a quality player. The only thing is, injuries. So when he got injured during that game we played against the Polokwane City, he was playing beautiful. He was starting to pick up his momentum. So I think that's one of the reasons why, but decided no, we are going to give him, an extra year. But other than that, and another thing, they gave him that extra year because they knew that they are going to sign a player like Faisal Salum. But I don't think this player we're going to get much, but maybe January. I don't know, maybe that's what I'm thinking, because as things stands, I don't know what's happening. They haven't updated us in anything in terms of our Faisal Salum and also some of the other players. But we did talk about, Fiston Maele, Mickey Jr. saying no, contract it ends now, and the source said no, contract it ends on June 2026. You can let me know what you think down in the comment section below. To me, Nina Nabano Jr., Mickey Jr., the African journalist, you guys will go with him. But I'm not saying both of them are correct or incorrect. I'm saying no. I'm just going to choose that side until he's proven wrong. And then that's where I will move and say, no, okay, I understand. This information gave us wrong information, but for me, I take the word of someone who was part of the deal, who was there when they were negotiating and everything. But other than that, we're going to see what is going to happen. So now moving to Nasreddine Nabi. A few days or a few weeks, no, let me say 1 week ago, we saw Nasreddine Nabi in Tanzania, him and the scout Utera Maliwa. Now We talked about Dennis Kibu. We talked about some of the other players that we saw that Coach Nasreddine Nabi is interested in. Now the same source ositshela ukuthi Nasreddine Nabi is interested in Dennis Kibu has now spoken about Jean Charles, which is the name of the player, I believe. Jean Charles, we've spoken about him. He scored 15 goals in He scored 15 goals in 15 games, and when I'm assists, even Kev, he played, I think he scored 3 goals, if I'm not mistaken. He's an attacking midfielder. Someone, and if we don't get Faisal Salum, maybe we can sign him on a loan just to see what he can give us. Some sign on a loan, 1-year contract, and then after that, so we'll notice this on. But if it doesn't work out, then we do not lose anything. We lose Vanilla Naige or F. Mam Jason Gonzalez, who currently is doing wonders for Itimi, even though I think they did let him go. So now we have Coach Nasreddine Nabi. He has spoken about this midfielder, Jean Charles, not Dennis Kibu, but Jean Charles. He says Simba's players are good, but for me, I'm very impressed with number 10 jersey, the Kaizer Chiefs head coach, who is currently in Europe. Obviously, he is a good midfielder. He does things with confidence, and his mind makes decisions quickly. So. Nali player wafethu khuluma ngayo Nasreddine Nabi, Jean Charles, njengoba ngishilo, the same source who gave us indaba ka Dennis Kibu is also giving us Jean Charles, and now Coach Nasreddine Nabi himself just confirmed ukuthi yena he likes this player, which is Jean Charles. Why? Okay, Yazin, we are not there. We are not here to fight and talk about Thabo Mikichina. But anyways, as you can hear from yourselves, Bafetu, Coach Nasreddine Nabi, Jomba Amasos, they were saying, Nabi is interested in signing Simba SC players. And even here, Simba SC players are good. But for me, I'm very impressed with number 10, Jay-Z, number 10, which we are with Jean Charles. So far, yeah, guys, nothing has been confirmed in terms of Uti Koni offer a corner or there's a player that we're going to sign. It's always just in free agents, players who are being released. I do not know why Orlando Pirates is releasing so many players, but they are releasing some of the players. And then in terms of Monopoly selling, yeah, things are not where we think they are. It looks like Orlando Pirates, they want to retain his services. They are trying to make sure ukuthi abamekela hambe uMonopoly Saleng, but I don't think inhliziyo yakhe is there. But we do know he's a great player, someone who has a great quality, when it comes to on field or on the pitch, which we are waiting to see what is going to happen. But as we know, as far as we know, contract yake is still there. He still has 1 year. I've told you guys about this. 1 year or 2 years. I think it's 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. My mind is getting jumbled up because we've spoken about a lot of players here. Faisal Salum, Jean Charles, Dennis Kibu, some of the other players, but other than that, we are still waiting to see what is going to happen with Kaizer Chiefs. Are they ready to make those stepping moves to make sure we sign those players? And I was hoping, we sign those players before CLA Europe, where we are going to have a preseason, because like I've said, having a preseason without the players signer doesn't make any sense for me, especially citing them. But other than that, Buffett, we are going to see what is going to happen. And also Dylan Solomons, it looks like Buffett, despite a lot of fans being against him, I love that guy. He's a great player. Yes, sometimes but I don't think I'm against him. So like I've said, Dylan Solomons, it looks like he's one player who's going to remain with us despite dog big lena left, right and center. But anyways, Buffett, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know who would you like to see us bring home at Nasreddine this transfer window before we travel to the Netherlands, which is in Europe. Peace.